Learning English my way. I never imagined how difficult it would be to move to another country without mastering the language. When I arrived in the United States, I felt like I had been thrown into a deep sea without knowing how to swim. Everything seemed confusing. The street signs, the fast-paced conversations in stores, even ordering food at a restaurant felt like an impossible mission. At first, I tried learning through traditional methods. I watched YouTube videos, used language apps, and even tried reading children's books, but nothing seemed to work as I expected. I could understand a few words here and there, but when someone spoke to me, my mind froze. The words moved too fast, and I could barely catch one or two sentences before getting completely lost. One afternoon, after a frustrating day at work where I barely understood anything people said to me, I decided I needed a different approach. That's when, without realizing it, I created a technique that slowly started to change everything for me. The three-step technique. To learn English, I realized I needed three fundamental things. 1. Listening without pressure. 2. Associating words with mental images. 3. Repeating without fear of mistakes. That night, instead of studying grammar, or trying to memorize vocabulary lists, I simply listened. I paid attention to how words sounded in real conversations. Then, something unexpected happened. A customer at the store where I worked asked me, "Do you know where the milk is?" Without thinking too much, I responded, "Yes, it's in the back, near the eggs." It was a simple answer, but for me, it was a huge achievement. I didn't have to stop and think about each word, it just came out naturally. I felt a mix of pride and relief, as if, after so much effort, I was finally breaking through the language barrier. Applying the technique in real life. From that moment on, I started applying my technique in everyday life. Every time someone spoke in English, I focused on listening to the rhythm and intonation instead of worrying about every single word. If I didn't understand something, instead of getting frustrated, I tried to grasp the general meaning based on context. I also started talking to myself in English when I was alone. While cooking, I described what I was doing out loud. "Now, I'm cutting the onions. They make me cry." Or when I went for a walk, I tried forming sentences about what I saw. "The sky is blue today. It looks nice." This exercise helped me lose my fear of speaking and gain confidence in my pronunciation. The moment I knew I was improving. The real breakthrough happened a few months later, when I had to make a phone call to fix an issue with my internet service. Before, any phone conversation in English terrified me. I couldn't see the person's facial expressions, which made it even harder to understand what they were saying. But this time, something was different. When the operator explained the problem, I realized I understood most of what he was saying. Not everything, but enough to respond without freezing. "I need to reset the modem." "Okay, I will do it now." When I hung up, I felt an overwhelming sense of satisfaction. It wasn't perfect, but I had done it. What I learned from all this. Now, after several months of using this technique, I can say that understanding English is no longer an impossible battle. I'm still learning, I still make mistakes, but I no longer feel lost in a sea of incomprehensible words. If you're in a similar situation, and feel like you'll never be able to speak another language, let me tell you something, you can. You don't need to learn the traditional way, if it doesn't work for you. Find your own method, immerse yourself in the language without fear, and most importantly, repeat, repeat, and repeat. Because in the end, the secret isn't in memorizing words, but in living the language until it becomes a part of you.